welcome back to my channel. I am Charlotte. So for this video, I really wanted to do a reading vlog because I love watching other people's reading vlogs, especially for like new releases and really big books and things like that. So I'm so excited. I have a couple books I'm really excited to read along with you guys. So the first book is none other than Quicksilver. I'm so excited for this one. I have seen it everywhere. I've heard really good reviews. I really don't know much about it other than it's a romantasy and there's fae, I believe, but I'm excited. I think it should be a fun read. It is quite long though, so I'm curious to see. But I'm excited. And the other book I'll actually be reading on my Kobo, and that is because it's an ARC from NetGalley. So thank you so much to Hachette for accepting my ARC request, because I like literally screamed when I got the email. So the other book I really want to read with you guys is Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez, which is her new release for next year. It comes out in April. If you somehow don't know who she is the author of Part of Your World, Yours Truly, Just for the Summer. I mean, Just for the Summer really like had its moment this year, which is so well deserved in my opinion because her books are phenomenal. So yeah, I'm so excited to read this, and I thought it would bring you guys along for the journey because I thought it would be so fun. So yeah, let's get into it.
Okay, I am 80 pages in and I'm already obsessed. Abby Jimenez does it every single time, where the second I start her books, I fall in love with the writing straight away. Like, she gets straight to it. She's so funny, but also will then just drop in a line that like cuts to your heart. The guy in this book, he's a vet. He loves animals. He like does a lot for local rescues. Their first date is literally like with a bunch of rescue animals. That's enough to sell me. And he's also like kind of grumpy and like quiet, but then he like is able to talk to her all night. And like their first date, they end up spending ages together, and it's just so cute. And I always find the plot in her books very like fast paced. Like it moves along really quickly. You end up like absolutely hooked straight away. So yeah, I'm already loving it. It's making me laugh. It's making me go, that's gonna make me cry later for sure. I love Abby Jimenez so much. And sort of the themes that are coming into this book, I fear it could be one of my new faves by her, but I am only 80 pages in, so let's not get ahead of ourselves. But yeah, I'm gonna keep reading.
Okay, I'm about 200 pages in now and I am obsessed. This has already made me tear up multiple times, but also like I'm having a lot of fun, but also I'm on the verge of tears like every 2 seconds. That's the vibe I get with every Abby Jimenez book. Hello, here's a kitten. I love the way that she set up this book. This book kind of reminds me of Part of Your World in that the two characters, like they get along so well and they make so much sense together, but there's life circumstances that are sort of keeping them separate, and that's why they can't be together. And I really like that in a romance because it doesn't feel like there's this like looming thing that like between their personalities just doesn't mesh and means they're probably going to break up at some point. Like I feel like they're perfect together. There's just circumstances that are keeping them apart. I feel like with every Abby Jimenez book, the main guy is so sweet, and this book is no different. Like the things that he goes to the effort to do to spend time with our main girl, I love. And yeah, basically I'm having a really good time. There's also themes in this book that are just particularly hard-hitting for me at the moment. I think that is why this book is just hitting so hard. It's so like fast-paced for a romance. I'm just absolutely binging it. And yeah, I really love it. I'm very excited, but also kind of terrified to see how the rest of the book goes. But yeah, a great update.
I have about 50 pages left. This book is cutting so deep. I've already cried multiple times. Okay, so a little reading update. I actually finished Say You'll Remember Me like 3-4 weeks ago at this point. But I have finally started Quicksilver. I'm about 50 pages in so far, and so far I'm really enjoying it. Like, the writing has been like really easy to get into, and the world and the plot is really interesting. If you don't know anything about this book, like I didn't, I went in literally completely blind. The setup is you're sort of following our main character, whose name I can't remember, and it's sort of like a classic fantasy plot where there's like the really wealthy royalty, and then our main character is from like this area that has a lot of poverty, and Kindle charm, very attractive to cats. Hey, you want to say hi? Say hello to the camera. Okay. And the sort of royalty doesn't really care about how poorly the poorer people are getting treated. And it was sort of thrown into this world, and you can see there's a lot of politics going on. And I probably won't really say anything more than that. I don't really know where the magic system is going. I don't know where the plot is going to go. I really don't know anything, but I love a classic plot of there being like a power imbalance in the world, and usually some kind of teenager having to overthrow the government or something like that. Like, that is fun. I'm a sucker for it every single time. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it so far. Again, I'm like 10% in, but I'm very keen, and I'll probably start reading it in the physical copy, because I actually have 2 physical copies. So I've got the paperback, this is probably what I'll read. But I also have I don't know what version this is. It's kind of a special edition, but it has pen papers under the dust jacket, and then reverse dust jacket. So yeah, let's keep reading.
Like, I've done something. You have done nothing.
Okay, I'm gonna have a very cozy reading evening tonight. I've got the book. I'm gonna read the physical book. I have my cute bookmark. I'm up to chapter 5, page 55. I have my ACOTAR glass with my drink in it. I have my Reading in the Night Court Library ACOTAR inspired ambience for some good vibes. And I have my, I can't even see it, it's like a bookish tropes blanket. But yeah, let's get reading. I'm so excited. Okay, I've made it to chapter 9, page 119, and I'm still like really enjoying it. I'm getting into the story a bit more. Things have like taken off, I guess. I feel like I can see more where the plot is going to go. I like all the characters that we've been introduced to so far, and like overall I just feel like actually like really hooked. Like, I feel like I don't want to put this book down. I just want to keep reading, and I love that feeling. It is quite long. I think I looked, it was 609 pages, which is quite a lot, but I'm like 20% through now, almost. So yeah, I'm gonna keep reading. Okay, so I have not updated for so long. I've been really busy, and basically the last like sit down reading session that I had, I got up to like page 200, and then after that I switched to the audiobook. So I've been reading that a lot, like while I'm like on the go, doing the cooking, I don't know, anything. I'll listen to an audiobook anytime. And because of the audio, I'm now up to page 500, chapter 36. So I've only got like 100 pages left now, but to give my thoughts up until this point, I'm really enjoying it. Like, I'm having a really good time. It's just sort of giving like everything I want in a romantasy. There's good enemies to lovers. There's like a really interesting like
political, magical plot line going on. Like, I'm really enjoying it, and I'm really liking the audiobook. So I've heard some people say they hate the audiobook, but then one of my friends who does love Quicksilver said that she loved the audiobook. And the male narrator in the audiobook is the narrator for Resand from the Actar graphic audios. So that has actually changed my life, because I can't not be like thinking of Resand and picturing Resand when he speaks, because I associate his voice so much with the graphic audios. I'm like, anyway, I love Actar so much. Like, the graphic audios of those books like make me giggly, especially when it's Resand talking. So like, that is having an impact on me, and how anyone can say they don't like the audiobook for this book is upsetting me, because I just want to hear his voice. But I'd also heard a couple of people say that like the book is quite long. It's like 600 pages, and like it kind of falls flat in like the middle sort of chunk. But honestly, for me, I don't know if it's because I was audiobooking it and I kind of had spread it out across a lot of days, and I was just like picking it up here and now. Like, I didn't really feel like bored at all. Like, at no point. I was always really interested in the plot. I think the timing allowed it to have a bit more of a slow burn with the romance, which I really like. Although I feel like I could go even slower. And yeah, it feels like the world is quite big, and I feel like the number of pages has been a good amount to like really build up that world and like draw out different plot lines and relationships and things like that. So I personally, I don't mind the length. I do find I'm picky sometimes with the length of books when it feels like it's just too long for no reason. But this one, so basically, I'm really enjoying. I've only got 100 pages left. I'm really hoping I can finish it tonight. But maths is also about to be on, and it's like dinner party night, so we'll see. I have to put my washing out. Okay. Well, I'm gonna do that. Maths is on.
Hey, dear, what's it not to love about? I'm just honest, and I'm extremely.
Have like 50 pages left, and there's a lot of stuff happening, and this chapter says it's going to be 20 minutes long, so I feel like a lot of stuff is about to go down. Let's read. It's also the end of maths, and it's very dramatic, so conflicting interests right now. At least I've got apricot here. It's so cute. I got distracted by maths again, but it's over now, so I'm committed to reading this.
Okay, we have made it to the end of the reading vlog. It's only taken me like a month and a half to film this, but that's okay. I thought that I should give a little wrap up of each book, because I don't think I've actually gave my final thoughts on them. So let's start with Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez, which I don't have, but I feel like I need to hold something, so I'm holding my Kindle because I read it on Kindle. So like I said, I read this book like a month ago now, and this book was so good.
think I said when I started reading it, I didn't have any expectations. I didn't know what the story was going to be about. I just knew that I loved Abby Jimenez. When I started, I read the dedication, the author's note, and I saw that it mentioned dementia, and I was like, this one's going to hit hard, isn't it? And it did, especially if you think about the title. But to summarize the sort of general plot of the storyline, our two main characters meet and they sort of get into a fight, but also sort of hit it off instantly, and they end up going on a date with each other, and it turns into them spending like 12 hours together on their first date. And they're like, wow, like this was a great first date. We have really hit it off. We get along really well. We just want to spend time with each other. Like, this is so weird. When does this ever happen? And then it turns out that our main girl is just about to leave and move to California forever to go stay with her family and help out with them. Meanwhile, our main guy, his whole life is in Minnesota, I think it is. He runs a vet there. He also helps out with like a rescue or something, and so he's super busy. And they're like, oh my god, what are we gonna do? Only like gone on one date, but it was good, and now we're just like never going to see each other again. And so the book is just kind of following their relationship, how they struggle with making it work, being long distance, with all the other things going on in their life. The romance itself, I really, really liked. Abby Jimenez always just writes the sweetest men that I've ever read, and this book was no different. He was just so lovely, and their romance was funny, it was sweet, it was heartfelt, and the whole time I was like, no, what are you going to do? And like, I was feeling emotional for these two. I was like, you need to work it out because you're meant to be together. And then alongside this beautiful romance, we have this subplot of our main character's mum having dementia and the whole family kind of stepping in and trying to help out and figure out what to do. And it's just really hard. And this plotline really got me. I obviously won't go into details, but basically the whole storyline just felt like so deeply personal to me, and there were so many beautiful quotes in it. And basically the whole book just had me, the first half of the book had me laughing, giggly, giddy, and then the second half of the book basically had me sobbing. So yeah, so this one, if you can't already tell, it was a 5 stars. I loved it. I have given all of her recent releases over the last few years 5 stars. I genuinely love every single one so much. I love her writing so much, and I say it all the time, but she just beautifully weaves like funny parts, sweet parts, and emotional parts together so well to create such a good story. And yeah, I think this one, I'm trying to decide, I think it's tied with Part of Your World for me. Before this, Part of Your World was my fave Abby book. So yeah, a real success. I loved it, and I can't wait for it to come out physically because I need a physical copy so that I can go back and like annotate and tab all the quotes that I saved, because I have a whole folder on my phone full of them now. Yeah, that was book 1. And now for a completely different vibe, we have Quicksilver. I really liked this too. This was a very successful reading blog. So again, I don't know if I explained the plot. I didn't know what the plot was going in. All I knew was that there was Faye. We start out with following our main girl. She lives in like the poorest district in her world, and she's sort of someone who like steals to get by, because otherwise people like literally are just dying of starvation and dehydration and all of that kind of stuff. So we sort of start out in her world, and then she's stolen something that she then gets taken away because of, she goes into like the big castle where she's gonna like get killed, I guess, and then something happens and the plot really picks up from there, let's say. And I don't really want to say anything else. You can read the back if you want like a little bit more details, but that's the kind of general setup for the book. Honestly, I'm a sucker for that kind of setup, like the whole fantasy, like rise up against the government, like a really strong female main character. I love it. I eat it up every time. And then when the story goes, I loved it even more. Yeah, this book is quite long. It was like 600 pages, but I think, like I said, while I was reading it, I didn't find that it dragged. I actually think that it was quite well paced, and I wasn't
bored at like any point in the book. I really enjoyed all like the little plot points and places it went. The last like, I want to say like 150 pages like was where it suddenly got really intense. But genuinely, I was hooked like from the start. Like page 1, I was like, tell me more. I love this. There's a romance in this. Of course, it's a romantasy, and I really liked it. It wasn't like my favorite romantasy romance ever, I think, because that will always be Rhysand and Feyre, but also Jude and Cardan. Anyway, it wasn't my favorite, but like it was up there. It was a really, really good one. Because the book was long, it managed to keep some kind of slow burn, but it still was a bit too fast for me. I like a really, really slow burn, so keep that in mind. If you like are a big romantasy girly, I feel like you'll like the pace that this one has for the romance. What else did I like? I really liked all the characters, the like found family that we've got going on. Like there was certain characters and like friend groups and stuff like that was like genuinely funny. Like I was laughing out loud, even towards the end when all the intense stuff was happening because of some of the characters in this book. And in terms of the fantasy plot, I feel like it was really well written. The fantasy world sort of built up quite slowly. You were like learning with the main character, which I always like because it felt like quite manageable, not like super overwhelming. And I feel like there kept being more and more depth to it. There was so many more like, you know, secrets, mysteries. I just found it like really intriguing, and the way that it's set up for the second book, I'm very, very excited for the second book. I feel like it will be good. I think I'm gonna give it a 4.5. I like did just finish it like 20 minutes ago. I'm thinking 4.5. There was a period where I was like, is this a 5-star? But I think I just don't have that like feeling. But maybe if I think about it for a long time afterwards, I will. But at the moment, I'm thinking 4.5. I really liked it. So yeah, we have reached the end of this reading vlog. Thank you so much for sticking around if you're still here. I hope that you enjoyed. This was really fun to film and just be able to like share all my thoughts along the way. And also weird side effect when I was filming like time-lapse clips of me reading. It was actually really helpful because then I couldn't touch my phone and get distracted, which is good. But yeah, let me know if there's other books you would like me to read in like a little reading vlog. It was very successful, a 4.5 and a 5. That's amazing. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!
I'm looking for a